What's up my loves, my name is Paige, this is Pages with Paige, and today we're talking through all the unread books from my 2023 book haul. Hello my darlings, welcome to this Pages of Chaos series where I'm wrapping up 2023. Oh good lord. I want to talk through my book buying for 2023 and go through the books that I still have unread from 2023. I will also be going over my 2020 to 2022 book hauls and just highlighting where we're at for unread books. I won't be going into detail about what they are, but just to give you a numerical value of where we're up to with it. I will give the overall book buying stats for 2023, and then as we break it down by month for read and unread, I'll go through the ones that are unread for that given month, and then at the end we'll just quickly chat about the previous book hauls and where I'm sitting with those. And also potentially some goals that I have in relation towards that, but I am filming this on a bit of a time crunch, so we'll see how we go. Overall in 2023 I acquired 67 books, and one of my goals was to have 50% read to unread ratio by the end of the year, and I have 34 read and 33 unread, so I hit that mark. Thank you Amy for encouraging me for what books I should pick up. To break this down, I bought 26 books, 13 are read, 13 are unread. I was gifted 32 books, 16 are read, 16 are not, and 9 went on to Asher shelves. 5 of those are read, 4 of those are not. I spent a total for myself and Asher's birthday presents, $404.85 out of my $1,200 budget. I'm so thrilled at this. And most of the things that I bought, especially the things that I have read, were with intentionality. Some of these, not so much, and I think that's why they're still lingering on my shelves. But they've only been lingering for a year. I definitely have worse. One other thing that I wanted to comment on was that at the midway point, my representation stat for having any form of rep, which is fucking bare minimal on my purchases, was 29%. At the end of the year, it was 51%. So I really made a conscious effort to be picking up things that had some form of representation in them, and thank God my friends are legends that constantly gifted me representation in the things that they were gifting to me as well. I definitely know that my friends were a contributing factor to bumping this statistic up, and I'm forever grateful. I won't go through what I spent each given month because I do that in my book hauls, and if it was read and where I sourced it from. If I remember where these are for gifted or not, I will let you know, but I can't remember off the top of my head for most of them. So we shall see. But I'm really happy with that. My whole book buying for 2023 was just being a conscious consumer. I don't want to contribute to shitty manufacturing because the publishers are taking shortcuts to be able to meet demand. I don't want to be a contributing factor to that. I want to buy books that I want to buy, and I will source matching editions now for my copies, but I'm not going to actively be like, I need this hot new release just because it's a new release. If it's a pre-order for a book that I genuinely want, then absolutely no harm. But if it's just, I'm on the hype train, I ain't gonna do it. I don't mind if anyone else does, but that's not how I roll. I also went into this year with knowing that when I hit $1,000 spent in 2022, I nearly had a heart attack, and I stopped requesting as many things from my friends' unhauls because that was also killer. And if I see stuff that I want, that I know I will read relatively quickly, then I'm not going to hold myself back. Or if I've already read it and really loved it, then okay, I don't need to buy more duplicates of books, even if they are free. I just want to find my matching editions, and that's that. The one other stat that I want to talk about has been that I've been trying to read off my shelves. So one thing that I put in for this year that I didn't think was actually going to work was I needed to have read 2 books off my shelf before I could put one on. I didn't care if I had already read it and was putting it on, or if I had plans to read it. I was flexible in knowing that that was going to contribute to the red stats pretty quickly. But I unhauled. I thought the unhaul that I did at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, or midway through, was insane. And then I did another 150 plus unhaul in 2023. And I don't know the official number, but I have unhauled over 700 books in the past 2 to 3 years. And as someone who could never let go of a book because it's mine, I need to have a trophy of the fact that I've read it. The fact that I've got out of that mindset and I can pass books back into the community, back into circulation, back into the hands of the readers that need these books really was eye-opening. And I realized that I don't want a 500 book TBR. So with that, at the beginning of the year, my TBR, not every book that I own, every book that I own was about 1,000. I do actually have a running list that's relatively up to date. At the beginning of 2023, my owned books, Ash's and mine included, as well as some at my parents' place that are mine, I had over 1,000 books. I now have 971. My TBR, so the ones that I have not read, we started the year at 429 books, and we are ending 2023 on 270. I will be doing my entire unread TBR. That will be coming out pretty soon, and I am beyond thrilled that I've got it to under 300. I didn't think it was possible for someone that has hoarding tendencies like myself. I'm not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but every time I looked at my shelves, I just got overwhelmed. It was chaotic, and not in a fun way. It was messy. It didn't reflect who I was, and I just realized I didn't need to read everything. I can just read what I want. And I am gonna aim to get my TBR lower. I don't think it's going to go much lower in 2024 because I still want to purchase books, and my reading challenges are not solely focused reading off my shelves this year, whereas last year was very actively reading through my TBR for my bookish peeps and things like that, whereas this year I've got a little bit more diversity in the series that I'm picking up, and they're not always from my shelves, which is fine. I am so excited to get to every single series, but it's not going to bring this down. I think it's also going to make it more challenging because I am keeping in the 2 off for 1 on, but we shall see. With that ramble aside, I needed to celebrate this achievement for me, and I'm happy with where my TBR is at. I look at it and go, I've got so many options. I've got some good options, but I'm not overwhelmed. Let's dive into the books. So in January, I acquired 3 books, and by the end of the year, I had read all 3. 2 of those I did read in 2023, but that's fine by me. I'm very happy that I got to those. And one of those was Hangman by Jack Heath, which was gifted to me by Krystal from Bomb Book Reviews for my Bookish Peeps challenge. So I was super happy with it all. Then in February, I acquired 14 books. It was my birthday and we went to Sydney. 7 of those I have read, 6 of them I have not, and 1 I have unhauled, which was the Mammoth Hunters. I finally managed to find it in a matching edition, and then I DNF'd the series. So, but the 6 that I still have unread on my shelves. The first is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. Ash and I picked this up from Dimmicks because of the beautiful sprayed edges as well as the end papers. We just thought this was a beautiful edition. We do both want to read it. I just didn't get to it. So I don't have plans to get to it anytime soon, but oh, this might actually work for a Bookie Moon prompt. So I might get to this in 2024, but we both just knew that this was a collector's item that we would get to eventually. The next is A Time of Trial by Michael Pryor. So I'm trying to collect these editions of the Laws of Magic series. I still have the last 2 in the other editions, and so I just did a swap out. This didn't come off my TBR, but it also didn't go onto it because it was already there. So yeah, and I think I got this at Elizabeth's bookstore, the same place that I got the one that I unhauled, but I just was so excited to find this edition, and I can't wait to go and search Sydney and see if I can find the other 2. So this is the 4th in the Laws of Magic, and I really enjoy the series. I do need to continue on with the 3rd one, and hopefully we will get to this sooner rather than later, especially as I want to make progress in series again this year. The next one was a purchase. We had a gift card from Nan and Pop, and so Ash and I both got a collection of things, and Ash got Noragami Stray God by Akachito, and this is the first 3 volumes of this manga, but I am very interested in reading it. I just had no intentions of getting to it in 2023, and I think they're really cool. I think it's going to be a fun time. I don't know anything about the story, but this was going more onto Ash's shelves than mine, but because I'm interested in reading the series, it goes on my TBR as well. Then at the recommendation of, I think it was Erin and maybe Kara, I got Now She Is Witch by Kirsty Logan. Hey, it has mushrooms on it. I really need to go through and actually look at my covers. So again, this was a gift using the gift card. I don't know anything about it. It was definitely a cover buy, and I know that Erin really loves Kirsty Logan's works, so their recommendation is enough for me to pick it up. But it also is a standalone, so I didn't prioritize it last year. Are we noticing a theme? The next one is Watering the Soul by Courtney Peppernill. I always love buying poetry collections. I really enjoy them, especially ones that have a beautiful illustrations in it. And there were a few times throughout the year that I went to pick this up and just didn't. I'm not sure why. I have read Pillow Thoughts 1 and 2, I think. So I know I like their writing, but I just didn't pick it up. And it's a short little thing. So hopefully 2024 will be the year that I manage to get to this because it's adorable. I love it. And then the last one was a gift from Mel, and that is Ikitha by Claire North. We were doing a project which will also be coming out soon if it's not already out. I can't remember where my filming and uploading is up to, where we read retellings of the Iliad and the story of Troy. And we did mention being interested in doing Penelope's story and me rereading the Penelope ad because, oh shit, I love that. So Mel saw that this was on my wish list and kindly gifted it to me. But because we were focusing on Trojan retellings, I didn't end up picking this up and holding on to it to see if we eventually do a Penelope version. So if you see that vlog, if it's already out, please let us know if you would like us to do more. I need to space it out a little bit more than once a month, but I would be very keen to get to this as part of that project. So it has a purpose as well, but we just haven't activated that purpose yet. In March, I acquired 2 books, and both of them were from the Reading Wren. The first was Every Heart a Doorway, and I have read this. The other is one that I have not read yet, and that is Disability Visibility, edited by Alice Wong, which is first-person stories from the 21st century. And the amount of times I went to pick this up throughout the year and didn't, I'm kicking myself because it just sounds amazing. I need to read up on this. I need to become more knowledgeable about disability and it being invisible in the world, and also being visible and the structures that are in place. I read Hannah Devine's memoir, I'll Let Myself In, and a big eye-opener for me was how inaccessible so many things are, especially things like my high school. And I feel like this is going to be continuing to talk about what it means to be a disability advocate, and I really should have prioritized it and haven't, but I will. I do want to continue reading non-fiction in 2024, so hopefully this is on the list. Feel free to slap me if you don't see me reading it in 2024. Then in April, I hauled 4 books, 1 that I have read and 3 that I have not. The first is Mysteries of Thorn Manor by Margaret Rogerson. This is a companion little thing to Sorcery of Thorns, and I wanted this so badly. I adore the dynamic between Elizabeth and Nathaniel, that's right. So I really wanted to get to it. There were many opportunities I could have, but didn't. So I'm keeping this in my back pocket for when I need something small and fast. The next one was one that I finally caved and got, and that was Gleanings by Neil Schusterman. I was not sold on the toll and felt very lackluster towards the end of the series, which was super unfortunate. I ended up reading the last short story for a challenge that I did for Suffer-a-thon, where I read the last chapter story, however it came to be, of a lot of books, and this being one of them, and that has reinvigorated my love for this series. It did things that I needed from the toll in this, so I will probably get to this in 2024. I'm not sure how it will fit in regards to series because I do find that Arc of the Scythe is completed. This is just additional content, so I'm not sure where it will fall, if I can convince myself it's a series or not, because that would mean marking it as ongoing. But I am very excited to dive into these short stories and just see what the rest of the world has to offer. And the other one was when Ash, his parents brought over a bucket ton of books from his place as they're looking at moving soon. There are plenty more that I've added from that collection to the TBR that I haven't mentioned in hauls, but because I mentioned this one, I'm going to include it. And in the entire TBR, you'll see what ones Ash has got throughout the year. But that is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Nah, I have zero plans to get to this anytime soon. Absolutely none. No. No. It is a behemoth. It is a classic. It is tiny text. Someone put me out of my misery. It's on my classic shelf, and like every other classic, I'm just going to actively ignore it until I crack the shits and or pull it out as a random number generator and cry into my tea. Then in May, I acquired 7 books, 3 of which are read and 4 are not. And my mum was so generous and bought these ones for me. I can't remember how or why, but we were in Collins and she was just like, let me get these. And I was like, I'm not gonna say no. The first is Dead Poets Society by, I went to say Robin Williams, a novel by N.H. Kleinborn, which is based on the motion picture. The reason I haven't got to this tiny little thing is because once I bought it, Emily from Books with Emily Fox trashed the shit out of it. And I'm not prepared. I am not ready to tarnish Robin Williams' memory like that. But I also can't bring myself to unhaul it because I want to know, but also I'm so scared to know. I definitely had a few moments throughout the year that I wanted to pick this up and didn't. And I should have bit the bullet when I was in the mood to before seeing that review. But we're here. I've got it. I will read it. But expect to see a vlog of me just sobbing my eyes out because it did not go the way that I wanted it to. Then we got Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, and this will be read in 2024 because I put it on my 5-star predictions. I loved Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and I really don't know anything more about their works. I know that some people find them very problematic to the point of this is not okay. Some find them problematic taboo, but still okay. I'm not sure. I don't really know anything more, and I just heard that this was one that people liked, so I wanted to get to it. I have had it niggling in the back of my brain that I'd wanted to read it since I saw it, probably in 2020, potentially a lot earlier than that. When did this even come out? I don't know. 2016. This edition was published in 2022. I feel like I've seen that cover around since then, so maybe only a year or two, but it was definitely one of those ones that I was very interested in picking up. So I did. Thanks, Mum. Then we got The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and I love Ashley Poston's work. I've read the Geekarella series and I have Heart of Iron, and I wanted to pick up this one because I don't know, it just seems a lot of fun. I've heard a lot of positive things about it, and knowing I really adore their writing in their quirky way, I thought this is gonna be a good pick. Did I get to it? No. Is it because it's a standalone? Yes. And the last one I'm so mad at myself for not getting to, and that is Death of a Bookseller by Alice Slater. So I got a lot of death and dead that haul, but this would have worked perfectly for the Amazing Readathon. I had the opportunity to read it and I didn't, and I'm still kicking myself because that would have been a great book to read. Holy shit, it's so fucking green. And I'm very curious about the story. I've heard really good things about it. I desperately wanted to get to it. Here we are. I don't think I'll get to it in 2024 if I'm being realistic. I might not. Next up in June, I acquired 7 books again, but I read 5, so there's only 2 remaining. The first is 16 Souls by Rosie Talbot. This was for Wren from the Reading Wren's Queer or Not book club, and I then didn't get to it. I had every intention, and I can't remember what happened. I might have actually been slumping in June, and so I just didn't pick it up, which is fine. It's also the first book in a series, so then I didn't prioritize it for the rest of the year. I think most people enjoyed this, so I'm excited to get to it. I just didn't prioritize it in time for the book club, and then sort of just went, well, maybe next year. And the other one is a birthday present to Ash, which is The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. I just really liked this cover, and occasionally I buy him clothbound classics, whether that be for our anniversary, his birthday, or Christmas. And if I haven't read them, then they go on my TBR. So I end up buying ones that I'm vaguely interested in, but then also just go off the cover some days because I have no idea what the fuck this is about. Then in July, I acquired 4 books, and these were all things that I was so very interested in. So there was Autism in Heels, Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson, which was on my Bookish Peeps challenge. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, because Ash wanted to get a anniversary edition. I had already got it on my TBR, so it didn't change my TBR, but we just got a beautiful edition. And What You Are Looking For is in the library. He had an arc of it, and I've read and loved all 4 of these books. So that was a fantabulous buying month because everything served a purpose. And What You're Looking For in the library became my best book of 2023. Then in August, August, I acquired 7 books, 4 of which I have read, 3 remaining. The first is Escaping from Houdini by Kerry Maniscalco. I think I'm going to finish off this series in 2024, so I have this and the next one to read, but I really enjoy the dynamic, and I've heard that it goes more towards the romantic relationship side of things, which I'm not mad at. I would like to still see Aubrey maintain that sense of integrity and feistiness that she has in wanting to be a woman and study what she wants to. I don't know if that remains prevalent, but I love that about her character, so I really hope that this is going to be a good read that I get to in 2024. The next was on Kara from Bianca Reads' recommendation once again, and that is A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. I am so excited to get to this, and it is going to be read in 2024 because it is a 5-star prediction. I cannot wait to dive into this. I would like to get through Squash That series in January and the beginning of February, and then continue with actually picking up standalones because this is glorious and I cannot wait. And the other was my sister kindly gifted me the T2T sets. They were a collaboration with Penguin Classics, and so I'm just keeping it in the box. But we got Dracula by Bram Stoker. Again, this didn't go and adjust my TBR numbers because I already had it on my TBR in a different edition. We just took that one off and put this one on. But I was so thankful for her to pick out that box. Ash and I were tossing up between which box we wanted, and for her to then pick this up of her own accord and gift it to us was just so bloody lovely, and I'm so appreciative of it. So I have Dracula on the TBR. I don't know if I will get to it like every other classic that I've acquired in 2023. I just procrastinate on shit as much as humanly possible. Then in September I acquired 3 books, 1 of which is read, 2 of which are not, and I am very mad at myself for one of them because I kept putting it on a TBR for the remainder of the year and didn't read it, and then the other one I will get to this year. The one that I'm mad at myself for not getting to is Rouge by Mona Awad. I was very excited to get to this. I think it sounds creepy and just all the vibes that I wanted, and I didn't pick it up. Someone please explain to me why I am the way that I am. It's fine. It's all good. But this one I want to say I'll get to it, but I don't trust myself. I hope this will be off my TBR by the end of 2024. The other one that I'm going to be reading is Ash by Melinda Lowe. I got this because I have wanted it for the longest time. It kept sitting in my brain as a Cinderella retelling, and I just wanted to pick it up. It's LGBT themed, and I think I'm going to have a glorious time with it. I do believe it's probably going to read a little bit YA, but I'm not mad at it. It's a retelling, so it fits for Pokemon and all the other things. So this will be off the TBR by the end of 2024. Oh, my back is breaking. In October, I acquired 1 book and I've read it. It was I'll Let Myself In by Hannah Devine, the disability memoir that I talked about earlier. Then in November, I acquired 4 books, 1 of which I've read, 3 of which I have not. The first being Jade City by Fonda Lee. Meredith from Reading with Merb kindly gifted this to me, and we will be reading this full book star, so this will be read by the end of January. And I'm so excited to start this series, and I cannot wait. I am so excited, and for Meredith to gift this to me just filled my heart with joy. The next one is one that is also on my January TBR, and that is The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. I really didn't know too much about it. I just said, oh, that's a pretty cover, and Ash shoved it in my hands because he also wanted to read it as it is an arc from his work. It does come out in February of 2024, so we better get on that ASAP. And then the final one was definitely more of a purchase for Ash than myself, but I'll put it on the TBR, and that is The Narrow Road Between Desires by Patrick Rothfuss, which is his work through of the Lightning Tree story that he wrote previously to be able to tell Bass's story in more detail. I'm not 100% sure if I'm actually going to read this or not. I like Bass as a character, but I just don't feel any desire towards it, but I've put it on the TBR. So we'll see how we go. Then in December, I acquired 11 books, 2 of which have been read and 1 that has been unhauled. So there are 8 remaining. The one that I did unhaul was one that I had read, and that was Howl's Moving Castle. I needed to buy it in a box set, and I already have an edition from Jacqueline from Jaxie Jax Reads from the year before. The first thing that I got was Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. Did I mean to read this in December? Yes. Did I not? No. But that's okay, because it's a graphic novel, it's a continuation in a series, so we're gonna have a good time with it. I love these characters so much. I cannot wait to continue with it, but it was not in December. The next one was a gift from Aprilus Maximus, and that is Everything Is Okay by Debbie Tung. This is just a beautiful little graphic novel memoir of their life with mental illness, and I think it's going to resonate procrastinate so hard, so I cannot wait to get to it. I will also leave my book haul down below because I'm repeating myself a little bit here, but that's fine. Then from Tracy, I got Us Against You by Frederick Buckman, which is the second in the Beartown series, so I am so excited to get to this. I'm pretty sure I will get to it in 2024 because I would like to continue on with the series and have my heart ripped out of my chest. Then my mum bought, at the recommendation of one of my friends from where I used to live, The Fall Between by Darcy Tyndall, because I am very familiar with the locations mentioned in this. So I thought that was really interesting, and it's not in my usual genre, so I'm curious to pick it up and see how it goes. I'm not sure if it will be 2024 though. Then I have Hunter by Jack Heath. This is currently being read. I am reading this for Squash series as well as my Bookish Peeps, and it was on my Cluedo Chooses as a pet pick because Ash stood in a circle and picked some of the gifts that we still had wrapped. So this is from the reading Wren, and they are a beautiful human helping me continue on with my series and get to things that I'm very excited for. And then from Jacqueline, from Jaxie Jax Reads, I got The Gargoyle's Captive by Katie Robert. I did also get The Kraken's Sacrifice from Erin, but I did end up reading that in December. And I will get to this pretty quickly. It's great. I cannot wait. I am so excited. I just adore Katie Robert and am so happy that my friends are fueling my addiction. It's great. And then finally, like I said, I had Howl's Moving Castle, which I have unhauled even though I'd read it because it was cheaper to buy the box set to be able to get these two that I haven't read to continue on with the series and put out into circulation another copy of Howl's, which I adored. So I'm so excited for the person that picks it up rather than just buy them individually. So I have Castle in the Air and House of Many Ways, all by Diana Wynne Jones, and I haven't read these two, but I'm hoping to have them done by January. So there are a lot of things happening in January that I'm very excited for, which will help to reduce this number. My goal was to read half of my remaining unread by the end of 2024. I don't think that's possible. I think I would be close, but I would feel more comfortable saying I want to read 11 books. So then there will be 20 remaining when going into 2025. There are a lot here that would be very quick to read, and if I did want to just buffer up that number, I could, but I think I'd prefer to take my time and actually read them when I'm in the mood rather than trying to force myself just to be able to get to a numerical goal. So we're looking at 11 of these read by the end of the year, if not the stretch goal of half. Oh my god, I feel like I've been filming for 6 years. I need to go pick up Ash from work, so I will be back with talking through the prior book hauls. So Ash has been collected and I had to fix my math, so oh my god, that hurt my brain. With the previous book hauls, I will go from 2022 backwards. So for 2022, I ended the year with accruing 172 books. 40 I'd read, 10 I'd unhauled, so I had 122 unread books from my 2022 book haul. I wanted to read 22 to be able to get to 100 remaining. I read 33 because I read one book but we had 3 copies of it that we acquired, and I unhauled 13. So my remaining total is 76 books that are unread from 2022, which I am impressed with. I was expecting it to still be at that 100 mark. Then for 2021, I ended the year with 151 acquired books. 49 of those were read, 3 which I had unhauled, so I had 99 unread books. By the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, I had 65 remaining. So I wanted to read 15 books to get to that 50. I read 15, but I also unhauled 15. So currently there is 38 remaining that are unread from my 2021, and from 99 in 2 years to 38. And then for my 2020 book haul, I had acquired 171 books. 74 that I had read and 97 that I had not. By the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, I had 39 remaining. I wanted to read 15, so then I would have 24 remaining. Thing is, I read 19 and unhauled 5, so I now have 15 remaining. 2020 has 15 books remaining. 2021 has 38. 2022 has 76. And 2023 has 33. My goal for these. In my video, I said I wanted to do 8, 12, and 15 from each year, but I also have a high goal. For 2020, I would like to either have 5 or 7 remaining, so reading 8 or 10 books. For 2021, I want to have either 26 or 24 remaining, so reading 12 or 14. And for 2022, I want to have either 60 or 61, so I either need to read 15 or 16 books. If I go for the high bar, which is the 10, 14, and 16, I will have to read 40 books from these book hauls. And then my goal was to read 16 from my 2023. So that's 56 books already off my TBR that I have a say in what they are, but it's not always things that align with my current reading plans. If I stick with the 8, 12, and 15, doing the half of my 2023 is 51 books. If I go the high ball, I'm happy to lower my 2023 to have 20 remaining. So I only have to read 11, which is then 51 books instead of 56, which I think is doable and provides me with that little bit more flexibility. I know it's only 5 books, but it makes a difference to me. I am so impressed with the fact that I've managed to get these unread book hauls down to a reasonable level. I have unhauled so much and I'm not mad at it. If it means that it's not sitting on my shelf and someone else is able to pick it up and enjoy it, great. I think that sounds like a better idea than it just lingering on my shelves. That was my 2023 book haul, still unread, and the previous year's book hauls, current updates on where they're up to as well. So I'll leave each year's starting and remaining here so you can see, and I'm just really happy with how this managed to shape up this year. I also was prioritizing reading series, and the fact that I've managed to do both as well as big books, it fills me with pride. It makes me so happy that I've managed to accomplish this. So those are my goals. I'm nervous because I still also want a 50% read to unread ratio for 2024. I'm happy to throw these into the wind. They're just fun for me to be able to look at and see if I am shrinking the list a little bit. And I'm very excited to see what these numbers are by the end of 2024. Let me know in the comments, are there any books that are lingering on your shelves from 2020 or before? I know that it's absolutely fine. These are just things that I like looking at and I can work on. I do have the list of books that I had on my shelves before, so that is very interesting for me to have a look at and sort of see how everything's dwindling throughout. A lot of those I think I unhauled more than read last year, and that is totally fine because, like I said, getting it down from 429 books, 270, just so good. Let me know anything you want to let me know in the comments down below, and if you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe. I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!